Number the light in the hollow tree. Every evening, just before the stars appeared, the little forest grew wonderfully quiet. The wind softened. The birds settled into their nests. Even the leaves seemed to whisper instead of rustling. It was the squirrel's favorite time of day. He loved watching the forest slowly fall asleep. But on this evening, something was different. Far beyond the familiar paths, beyond the old stream, and deeper than he had ever wondered before, a tiny golden light flickered between the trees. It wasn't the moon. It wasn't a campfire. It wasn't another home. It was small, steady, and somehow it felt as though it had been waiting for someone. Curiosity gently tugged at his heart, so he adjusted his little round glasses, took one last look at his cozy oak tree, and quietly followed the light. The deeper he walked, the quieter the forest became. Moonlight slipped through the branches above. Tiny mushrooms glowed beside the winding path. The stream reflected the stars like scattered diamonds. A rabbit looked up for a moment, then returned to nibbling the grass. A sleepy hedgehog shuffled through fallen leaves. Somehow, everything felt peaceful, as if the forest already knew where he was going. With every step, the golden light grew brighter, until finally he stood before the oldest tree he had ever seen. Its trunk was enormous. Its roots stretched across the earth like ancient rivers, and deep within its hollow, the mysterious light quietly glowed. The squirrel suddenly felt very small, not frightened, just humbled, as though he was standing before something much older than himself. He took a slow breath and stepped inside. Warm golden light wrapped around him. The walls of the hollow tree were covered with beautiful carvings. Animals, trees, seasons, stories. Tiny crystals shimmered softly among the roots. Golden dust floated through the air like sleeping stars. At the very center of the hollow rested an old lantern. It looked ordinary, except for one remarkable thing. There was no flame. Inside, hundreds of tiny golden fireflies drifted peacefully together. The squirrel smiled in amazement. He had never seen anything like it. As he gently lifted the lantern, the warm glow spread across the wooden walls. And something unexpected happened. The ancient carvings began to reveal their story. Long ago, during one of the fiercest winters the forest had ever known, snow covered every trail. The wind erased every footprint. The night was so dark that even the bravest travelers lost their way. But then, someone placed this very lantern inside the hollow tree. Its gentle light never demanded attention. It simply waited. The tiny golden fireflies drifted out into the snow, guiding frightened animals safely through the storm. A family of rabbits found their burrow. A young fox found its mother. An exhausted deer reached shelter before dawn. Again and again, the lantern quietly showed the way home. No one remembered who first lit it, but everyone remembered the kindness it left behind. The squirrel looked down at the lantern in his paws. The little fireflies danced peacefully inside. They weren't trapped. They had chosen to stay together, to become a light for others. At that moment, he understood. Some treasures aren't meant to be collected. Some are meant to be shared. A gentle smile spread across his face. He wasn't meant to keep the lantern for himself. He was simply the next caretaker. So he carried its warm light back into the forest. That very night, the lantern found its purpose once again. A tiny bird had lost its nest among the dark branches. The squirrel quietly held up the glowing lantern. Golden fireflies drifted ahead, lighting the safest path. The little bird soon found its family waiting high above. Not long after, a frightened hedgehog discovered the trail home. Then a curious rabbit. Then another traveller. The lantern never spoke. It simply glowed, and somehow that was enough. The forest didn't become brighter because the darkness disappeared. It became brighter because someone chose to carry a little light. From that evening on, the lantern rested beside the doorway of the squirrel's cozy oak tree. Every night, its tiny golden fireflies floated gently into the forest. Anyone who wandered too far or felt a little lost would always find a warm light waiting. The squirrel would often sit outside with a warm cup of acorn tea, watching the fireflies rise slowly into the stars. Some nights there were dozens, other nights there seemed to be hundreds. He liked to imagine that every act of kindness became another little light in the forest. And perhaps that was true, because the more kindness the forest shared, the brighter the night became. If you ever find yourself walking through a quiet forest after sunset, look carefully. You may notice tiny golden lights drifting gently between the trees. They aren't trying to lead you somewhere new. They're simply reminding you that no one has to find their way alone. Because the brightest lights are often the ones we leave behind for someone else. Good night, little forest. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Stay tuned for more.